Well, hello there. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Hello there, beautiful people. My name is Asia Cheyenne, and today I want to talk a little bit about self-sabotage and imposter syndrome and how I kind of help myself through those times, or how I work myself through an episode. For those of you who are not familiar with the terms, self-sabotage is simply, well, it's kind of self-explanatory, really. It's just the sabotaging of self. And imposter syndrome is really when you just kind of feel like all of the accomplishments you've made, all the progression you've made, everything you've done thus far is solely based on luck. Like, it was solely by chance. You could have concrete evidence of the fact that you literally put yourself where you are, but yet somewhere in the back of your mind is still just like, you didn't do that. You're really not as good as you think you are. You think you are that? You're not. Did you really do that? Did you really create that? Did you really set that trend? That's what imposter syndrome is kind of like. With that being said, you can kind of see how self-sabotage directly correlates to imposter syndrome and how it could very much be like a direct product of it. And I'm going to be looking down at my old phone because I put some notes down that I want to talk about. So if I'm looking down, that's what I'm looking at. So the first bullet that I put down was identifying the self-sabotage and understanding how to turn it around in your mind. Now, obviously that requires a certain level of self-awareness, and you have to be aware of when you're self-sabotaging, when it's starting, what it looks like, how it feels, so that you can tackle it right then and there and just be like, this is not real. This is just in my head. I'm literally just creating a scenario to get down on myself. And you have to be able to know when that's happening so you can just talk to the hand, because the face saying home, leave them. It's just the tone. Beep. Traumatic incidents happen in our lives where it's just like, I don't know, it's just that lack of belief in self that creates that self-sabotage and that self-doubt from those traumatic incidents, and they're so normal in our heads to us that we don't even realize when they're happening. And we do definitely end up sabotaging opportunities because of the lack of the belief in self, and just feeling like, do I really deserve that? Could I handle it? Could I take on that responsibility, that task? That fear, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, it's just all in your mind, really. So you really just need to know when it's happening. What I like to do is I just kind of talk myself out of it. Like, relax, calm down, don't get worked up. This is literally not real. Like, it's not real. You're just creating this idea in your head because you're afraid. But what are you afraid of? Stop being afraid. You don't have to be afraid. You can do it. You're very much capable. You got this. That's literally why you're here, because you are capable. And that's literally how you have to talk to yourself. The way you talk to others, the way you talk to friends, family, with love, care, and compassion, you have to extend that grace to yourself too. You got to stop and ask yourself, wait, why am I so quick to jump on myself? Like, why am I so quick to doubt myself? Why can't I do that? Why do I think I can't? Who told me that? Who made me feel like that? What makes me feel like that? So you really got to start asking yourself those questions to really, really, really tap into some unacknowledged feelings about self-doubt. It's really just fear, really. And you would just have to unpack that fear to figure out, you know what I'm saying? Because there's nothing there is no limit. There is none. There is just none. It's all in your head. And the only thing standing between you and where you want to be, who you want to be, is fear. And it's imaginary. And when you figure that out, a whole new world is going to open up. One thing that has been helping me so much with just reprogramming my mind and just rearranging how I view things and feel about things, is just changing my perspective completely, is putting positive affirmations up and around places that I look at every day, that I have no choice to look at, like the refrigerator or the bathroom mirror, or put sticky notes on the walls in the room, places that you have to look at every day. Even if your eyeballs are just literally looking at the words and not necessarily reading them, your brain is still seeing that. and it's becoming normal. You're normalizing seeing that, speaking that into yourself, onto yourself. And you literally have no choice but to become that every day. Every day when you're looking at it, reading it, digesting it, breathing, eating, sleeping it, it becomes you. It really becomes you. And I just love to keep affirmations around the crib so that I'm looking at it every day and just reminding myself that you are capable. Another thing I like to do just to kind of bring myself back down to earth when I do feel myself going up into an episode is just engaging in self-care habits that, you know, just remind me of my greater self, because my greater self is aware that I am capable. It knows that I am fearless and limitless. When my mental space is up to par, kept clean, kept happy and satisfied, I'm satisfied. I'm okay. So the things that I like to do is I like to, you know, do my hair, smoke some weed, you know, write, all types of stuff, all kinds of stuff that just kind of bring me back to me. You know what I'm saying? Things that bring me back into the center, basically. Another great way to, you know, kind of kick that pesky imposter syndrome right on out the window or right on out the door is kind of reminding yourself of the accomplishments you've made, reminding yourself and reassuring yourself of your skill. If you ever feel the episode coming on, you know, you can just go, hey, sit down, do what you do and do it well, and literally show yourself. This is all you. You did this. Nobody else sat here with you and showed you what to do and talked you through it. You did it because you know what you're doing and you're good at it. For instance, like me, I do nails. I feel a lot of self-doubt about that often, like even if I'm dead ass looking at the picture of the nails I did and they're so good, it's just a part of me is just like, yikes, it could have been better. You know what I'm saying? Just always kind of getting down on yourself. Months will go by and I will relook at that picture and think, wow, these are crazy good. What the was I thinking? Why am I crazy? You know what I'm saying? So you really just gotta take a step back, relax, don't overload your brain, and just give yourself a break and then come back to it. And you'll be able to see that, wow, I really am good. I just be tripping sometimes. Focusing less on what you don't have and where you're not, and focusing more on what you do have and where you're going is a surefire way to get rid of that pesky imposter syndrome and self-doubt. It's just so easy to get down on yourself about where you're trying to go when you're constantly looking at it with tunnel vision. And with that tunnel vision, through that tunnel vision, you're only seeing what you don't have. You're only seeing your lack thereof. And honestly, that is mental fucking torture. Try to focus more on what you do have and how far you've come and where you're going, instead of just going on and on and on in your mind about, oh, I don't have this, I need this, oh God, it's gonna take me so long, I have so much time. Don't think about that as much, because everything takes patience. Patience is a virtue. Everything will be done in due time. So you're literally rushing for why? You ain't gonna do nothing but, you know, do a number on yourself. Like, oh God, I'm running out of time. What am I gonna do? Girl, relax. You got time. You got time. Like, just ground yourself and bring yourself down to back to earth. Every time you feel like you're lifting off the ground, bring it back down. You see what I'm saying? Just breathe, and think about it and talk yourself through it. Cleanses from social media are literally top tier. I recommend them because, you know, it's hard not to compare yourself to other people and think about everything you don't have and how much you have to go when you're looking at all these other people who are already successful, people who are your age, people who look like you, people who have lived lives like you and have changed their lives. It's hard to compare. Everybody does it, even I do it. But you just have to know that, listen, their time is now. It's not my time. I need to relax and bring it down a little bit because my time is coming. And you just need to acknowledge all the little monumental moments you're making, because all of the small rewards, all of the small accomplishments, They build up and pile up and snowball into an atomic reward, an atomic accomplishment. So you just have to remind yourself, you know, let me just take a step back from Instagram. Let me get off Twitter. Let me get off this shit and just cleanse my mind, my brain. Let me go sit down and read a book somewhere. Let me go watch TV, eat some popcorn. Let me go chill with my friends. Let me go smoke. Let me go, you know what I'm saying? Let me just get off of this alternate universe, because honestly, people be capping online. Like, you might be sitting here comparing yourself to this person who got this and that and the other, and that probably ain't even they shit. So there's that. This is about to sound a bit overrated, and I know it's probably easier said than done, but it's possible. I do recommend eating clean or just choosing healthier or better foods for your body to take bit by bit. I read somewhere that gut health is directly related to mental health, and I would have to agree on that, because when I went on a health kick and ate cleaner and was working out every day, I felt so much better about myself. Like, that was a different headspace to be in. That was the best headspace I had been in a long time. So, you know, if you can just change certain things about your diet, even little things, like try that. When you're in your greatest state of mind, you exude that greatness. You perform great. You're great to the people around you. You're great to yourself. You are aware of your capabilities, and self-doubt, imposter syndrome cannot live in that environment. You know what I'm saying? It needs something negative to cling on to. So, you know, eating cleaner is something that I definitely recommend. Another thing that I recommend to do, and that I'm still actively learning to do regularly myself, is creating a healthy response to my lack thereof, creating a healthy response to failure, basically. You know, it's hard to accept that you failed at something or you didn't do the best. Like, it just feels humiliating for some strange reason, but you just gotta make yourself okay with rejection of all things. I know it can hurt your pride, I know it can hurt, but literally that's just your ego. You have to learn how to remove that ego from situations, because ego can make something so small and minuscule seem so big, so big, when really it's just not that deep. It's not. It's just your ego is in the way and you're just blowing it out of proportion. So you just really have to create, like I said, a healthy relationship with failure and rejection and not performing well. But, you know, there's always room for improvement. You can always get back up there and try again. What is it gonna do to quit? Quitting doesn't do anything. Feed yourself good things, even if you don't believe it at first. And I know it can seem pretentious in the beginning, but that's literally the process of programming. It all feels pretentious at first, but you're literally just putting your ducks in a row, getting yourself ready to feel and become this, to step into this. You know what I'm saying? You're becoming a new person. So you have to constantly remind yourself. You have to write this everywhere. You have to say this every day. You have to pray about this 2, 3, 4 times, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 times a day, if need be. Nothing is over the top. Nothing, there's no such thing as doing too much when it's about your self-improvement. And that's just that on that. And lastly, what I like to do is, when I feel a wave of self-sabotage or imposter syndrome coming on, I like to stop and question myself. Like, you be sitting here saying that this isn't really you, you're not as good as you think you are, you're not the best at what you do, but if not you, then who? If you didn't get yourself here, then who did? Was it Casper the Friendly Ghost? No, it wasn't. It was you. 9 times out of 10, when it comes to self-doubt and self-sabotage and imposter syndrome, it just be made up ideas in your head, scenarios you created in your head for whatever reason. And it's literally imaginary. And you have to talk yourself out of it before you go off the deep end. Because once you go off the deep end, it's hard to turn that around. I can say that confidently because, you know, I'm actively unlearning these behaviors myself. Thank you guys for watching my YouTube video. I hope I didn't absolutely bore y'all to death. And I hope that these tips are helpful in some way, because they are genuine. I really do use them myself, and I just hope that somebody out there can relate. So if you liked what you just watched, please subscribe, like. You don't even have to leave a comment, baby girl, because as long as you watched it all the way through, I'm cool. See you around, perhaps.